Now, according to the new equation that we have transformed from the earlier part of equation of motion, now we are having small g, that is the acceleration due to gravity. So why not we do some question? Okay, so here is a question for you people, that when a ball is thrown vertically upward, okay, it goes through a distance of 19.6 meter. Find the initial velocity of the ball and the time taken by it to rise to the highest point. Okay, so here is the solution part people, that you know a ball is thrown into the upward. Okay, so if it is thrown in the upward, then the velocity, initial velocity could not be 0 because it has been thrown with certain value. Okay, and the maximum height it has been achieved is the 19.6 meter. So what we need to find here is the initial velocity and the time taken by this ball to reach to this highest point. Okay, so here the ball has been achieved this height, that is 19.6 meter. Okay, and the initial velocity we need to find, that from by which velocity we should throw it so that it has been taken this height, and what time it has taken to reach that height. Okay, so now with the solution part, we are having the maximum height reached is 19.6. Okay, at the highest point of motion, yes, when this ball is thrown from here and goes here and went to this position, now you people know that when it reached to the highest point, again its velocity going to be 0. So here the velocity part will be 0. Why? Because if it wouldn't, like agar ye 0 nahi hai, then again it should be moving again in the upward direction. But because it becomes 0 now, that is why it has stopped here, and from there, because of the gravity of the earth, it has been falling towards the earth now. Okay, so we can say that velocity, final velocity in this case is 0. Okay, now acceleration, because I have told you when we were talking about the postulates, that the second point I have told you, if the body is thrown in the upward direction, that is against the gravity, because gravity is only for the pulling the object towards itself, and by the external force we are applying certain force and we are throwing that in the upward direction, that is opposite to the gravitational force. So we take this as a negative sign. Okay, now to find the initial velocity, what we have done here, we have taken the third equation of motion. Okay, and you people know that v square minus u square is equals to 2gs. It will be working here. That third equation of motion now get transformed, and here in place of a we are having small g, and the value of small g would be 9.8 meter per second square. Okay, so this how we have done that the value of v is 0, because here then when the ball is reached here it becomes 0. U is certain value that we need to find. 2 is the constant term that we have taken here, 2 only, and A is minus 9.8 because it is moving in opposite direction to the gravity, and S, that has been the maximum height reached by the ball, is 19.6. Now the further calculation is that when you multiply 2 with this 9.8, you will again get that the result would be 19.6. Okay, so that makes our calculation easy. Now you can see that here also, because of 0 square minus u square is equals to 2 multiplied by minus 9.8 multiplied by 19.6. So this 0 could be replaced totally, because 0 में कुछ भी minus होता है तो वही term आती है, than minus u square. Okay, when you multiply 2 with this 9.8, you will get 19.6. So minus 19.6 multiplied by 19.6, and this minus to minus cancel. U square will be is equals to 19.6 multiplied by 19.6. Okay, this is what we have got here. Okay, so in this case now what we are going to do? Now you can see the square part is this. So the square part of this will be written as like this, that these are coming for 2 times, so the base value would be same, and we are having the power 2 now. So the power of the 2 can be taken as the under root, and these under root taken would be now become u is equals to 19.6. So here we are having the value of u as 19.6 meter per second square as the initial velocity, that with this initial velocity we have thrown the ball in upward direction. Now students, for the time. Now when we need to find the time, we have to take the equation that is having time as a value. Okay, time should be there. Okay, time as a variable. So we are having the first equation of motion, that is v is equals to u plus at, and by putting the same value, because now we are having the value of u, we have find it already, so we can put the value of u here, and that is 19.6. So plus minus 9.8 we have put here on place of the a, because g here would be minus 9.8 and a is equals to g according to the new equations of motion for free falling bodies or any object that is thrown or falling on the gravity due to the influence of the gravity of the earth. Now the time could be measured with this help of equation. Okay, so now what we are going to do, we can take the one value on the other side and the other value, because here we are having 0, and here we can do one more thing, like if we want to make it easier, minus 9.8 divided by t, if you are taking this value to this place, so minus 19.6, because it is positive here, and when we are transforming from here to here, then the sign would get changed. Okay, the equals to, this is already in negative term, multiply by time, minus to minus cancel, 19.6 divided by 9.8 is equals to t, and that a decimal point would be cancelled out. Then now the value would be like, when we are calculating it, it would be 2. Okay, so now the time is the 2 seconds. So we have calculated the initial velocity first, and then with the help of that velocity we have put it into the first equation of motion, and we have found the value of time here. So this is how, dear students, you can check the questions, some extra questions also, and you can find different values by keeping the value of a as the value of gravity, that is 9.8 meter per second square. But keeping in mind the postulates that I have told you, that when the ball is coming in the downward direction, you have to take it as a positive, and if the body is thrown in the upward direction, then negative would be considered.